Sally from Russia.
This is going to promote. Come with us.
About 700 miles to sail from South Africa to the first harbor of Namibia. It was winter in Southwest Africa, very cold, fog, sometimes for 20 minutes, sometimes for hours.
And for sure it was my watch. We just have pretty strange encounter with diamond mining ships. I saw two of them on the AIS and called them. And the guy said that there are actually 4 ships anchoring on a mile-long cable. So he gave me coordinates so we can pass them safely. Now it's over, but still pretty strange feeling. They're like ghosts in the fog. You cannot see them. The first harbor of Namibia, and we just enter of Luderitz. Small town where people are digging for diamonds.
That's Namibia. Looks different than Tanzania or Madagascar. It looks like, I don't know. You can see the desert, you can feel the desert even here in the harbor. Just when we arrived here in Luderitz harbor entrance, this horrible fog we had this morning. You couldn't see 10 meters, and half an hour later the fog was gone. Just when we arrived here, and the fog is not only you see nothing, it's actually everything is wet, wet, wet. Welcome to Namibia.
Welcome to the port of Luderitz. My name is Evaldine. I'm the senior port control, the traffic control officer.
So what is your job here?
And I'm working as a marine engineer assistance on the tugboat. It's 400 horsepower, and the other one is like 1,500 horsepower per engine. This one is very big.
So they
And they are very powerful. This one, the big one, can turn anyway, sideways, forward, backwards, because it is having that the unit is turning 360.
So you are the guy who repairs the tugboat?
Repairs and look after everything, that everything is under control.
So you are the pilot here.
One of the pilots.
So what's your job? Tell me.
My job is just to ship handling, to bring the vessel in and out, all kind of the maneuver, all kind of maneuver with the vessel inside the port or inside the port limits, just try to do it in the safest way,
It always seems a magic to me that they are going, but for you it's everyday life.
And it's my job. I mean, I've been doing this one for more than 30 years, so I mean, it's okay.
And you're not from Namibia?
No, I'm from Cuba. I'm a Cuban guy. So it means that many professionals that you see today here working in Namibia, even in the high level, in the ministry or whatever, they have been working in Cuba. Yeah, it's a long story in relationship between Cuba and Namibia.
My duty is port control. We are doing the coordination here, since a coordination center. So it's also now coordination with, they are doing job here inside port limit, inbound or outbound. For us, since we have this equipment to monitor all those things.
So where is Umadum? It's a video. Tell me.
It's a video.
So you have to tell me something.
I'm so happy to be here, by the way. And my feeling, like Luderitz, it's one of the most friendliest port in our way.
I'm happy to be here with my visitors. Like I said already, Luderitz is a place to be. Port of Luderitz is waiting for you.
And last but not least, we met Alexei, the Russian port captain. He's from St. Petersburg. That was a rare opportunity for me to speak a little bit Russian. And he showed us around with his fancy 4x4 car.
On the right side, this is what we are calling Agata Beach.
What's the special of this beach?
Plenty agats. Plenty agats.
Wow, I'm not so brave to drive like that. In the sand. If it will be mud, it will be fine.
Tafel, best beer in Africa. I'm not working for Tafel, but I'm like this beer. You can see in front, it's calling Diaz Point. But there's a cross, stay here. Any place when I step on the land, by mark by cross. All landscape, what you see around, is happens about 8-9 million years ago. It was also a few million years. This was ocean bottom after very active volcanic activity. Old woman, she was last lighthouse master who stayed here.
And Günther,
Yeah?
say something.
Very unusual. Four-wheel drive through the sand.
Absolutely normal. South Namibia.
Just 20 minutes drive away, there is Kolmanskop, the world-famous ghost town. 1914, diamonds had been found, and the Germans built a whole town in the middle of the desert, with everything. Just 40 years later, it has been abandoned because bigger diamonds were found elsewhere. You can watch our extra film about this ghost town on Umadum sailing on YouTube.
The ghost town in the fog. What could be more spectacular? mysterious that in a ghost town you see the doorway and the mist just running into the house. Misty, mysterious.
Just when we said goodbye to Luderitz, Alexei told us that next year there will be moorings for cruising boats.
And these moorings will be for free.
For free.
For free?
Absolutely for free.
Cold southern sea, and a wet heavy fog is hanging in the air, so heavy that it slowly drains into the ocean. All windows and doors are closed to keep a little bit warm, which doesn't really help, and we stay wrapped in plaids and double jackets. There are no lights around, only the dark grey milk of the night fog. We turned on the radar and the IS. Every 10 minutes the radar wakes up and looks around. White screen. Nobody. I know it's useless to go out and look around, but still do it. I see nothing. Just a soft glowing of navigation lights in the fog. It feels like in the horror film. We are sailing into nowhere.
As we are approaching Walvis Bay harbor, the anchorage, a seal just jumped on our right sugar scoop. That's wildlife. It's like in a zoo here. When we came up, there were hundreds of seals, there were whales, birds, just two pelicans surrounded our boat. Ooh. It's a wildlife nature paradise here. We rented a 4x4 camper to go to the Erindi National Park and to Sosoflei, to the highest dunes in the world. Do storms happen only at sea? In the first 2 hours of our trip, we had a big sandstorm.
We are going now to the desert to see the red, big dunes. It will be Sesrim or Sosoflei, whatever they call it. Yeah, it's somewhere in the middle of Namib desert.
And in the middle of the desert, we met other cruisers. Not ocean, but land cruisers. We are on a cruising boat. We are cruising around the oceans. You are on a pretty impressive vehicle. It's not what other people use, a little bit camping car.
Basically, now it's 2 years old, so we started in Europe and then made some European countries, south of Italy, Albania, Montenegro, and the way back then France and the Switzerland in the snow. So it was already approved in the winter as well. And now we are here. From here now we start going the South African countries like, I don't know, Botswana, Zambia, Lesotho, Mozambique and so on.
What do you enjoy in Africa?
In Africa, everything. I mean, the different culture, and it's so different to Germany.
But it's your first African country.
Yes.
And what's about the food here?
Same
Mommy is cooking.
Same like at home, because mommy's cooking every day, 3 times a day.
What the world gives us, want to enjoy time as a family, want to be alone with the nature, experience the nature, and yeah, this was the reason why we decided for it.
The impulse came from my husband, but and the first thought was, oh God, are you crazy? Never. But in the meanwhile, I'm loving it, and the whole family is just enjoying everything. What wanna show my children? What wanna give them? What should they see? More than just hotels and more than just normal beaches. The world.
And we are getting ready not to sail to the next world, just to the next continent. To cross the ocean from Africa to South America. Last day in Namibia. We will stay on the Atlantic, on the open water for 3 to 5 weeks. So, but this is only the last shopping. We did a lot of shopping. So the fresh things, the bread, the butter, sausages and so on. All the other things we already have on board from shopping of the last week. We hope we don't get hungry on the way. We should have enough to eat.